Hey there, in this video I will go through the app submission, and there are some of the things you have to know when you submit your app, and we'll go through some of the things that you might find difficult to understand, and I will explain this. I have a few production apps, that's why I can give you some best advice. I have seen some people submit their first app and it might take 3 to 4 weeks to review, and I have seen people who submitted like a few hours ago, and in like 12 to 24 hours the app is approved. It is because of the quality of the app, and the reviewer mostly check how complex the app is and how easy and smooth it is for them to review. If you have a few apps, you get the experience of how to deploy, how to go through each of the configuration and put everything together. But if it is your first time, you might miss some of the thing, but it's a good experience and you should go through this. Once you come to your app, and this is my production app, it is still on draft, and this is where you will manage your submission. Just click on this manage submission, and here it is going to give you all the basic details. I already added this icon for this in the previous video. These are like preliminary steps. For the first time, you have to add your emergency contact details. These are like phone number or email address that you have to add for your partner account, which it just takes you to the setting, and then you update that. This is the demo partner, that's why I don't have this, but for a production partner I always set this. The primary language for this, it always goes in English because most people knows English, so you will select that. Really easy. Request access to customer data. Sometimes you want to access like customer email address, customer let's say ID, or any other like phone number. You have to make sure that your app is not using, okay, my app won't use customer data, or you will send a request. The reason sometimes you need the customer details is you will do an analytics or some other type of like request. That's why you need that. Since Shopify want to protect this customer data, it is not by default available. You have to send a request. For the last app I did send a request, it took like 24 hours for them to approve. It takes like more than that depending on which type of data that you are requesting. They also ask for a reason. Make sure you provide a good reason that they will approve it. You cannot say I just like need this information to find out their like further details, or send them email, or I need their address to send something. You cannot do that. You can only use that for like analytics data, something like that. This is very important. For the automatic checklist, these are the things that that will automatically be checked after like 30 days. You don't have to worry about this one. For this one, you can see it is partially done. It's because you did not add any further details. Here I will select my email address. In here you will add all your app details. This is important. You can change this always. Shopify will not review this again if you change this, but remember, you cannot put an app name that already exists. You have to go through the guideline and check all of this. Also, the now app should be generic. You cannot say okay Shopify, you cannot use the word Shopify, you cannot use the word like very generic things. That's why the app name is very important. Also for SEO purposes, you can change this anytime, but if this is the first time you're submitting your app, make sure you put a nice name for it, so it is easy for people to remember and easy to find when they search for something. In the app you can use some keywords, so if it is a discount app, or for us it is product recommendation, I can say easy and then easy product recommendation, something like that. Let's say EPR, and then I say product recommendation. This app is like, this is acceptable because it is below the 30 character, and this is how you can find that. If you just put easy product recommendation, Shopify might reject that because that is very generic and everyone might say that easy recommendation. But EPR, this is unique, easy product recommendation, and that is how it will show in here. That's how you will name it. You can add an app icon, make sure it has the proper size. We have an app icon which included, but this one is displaying in the store, so you have to make sure that you are uploading a proper icon in here. Shopify will give you this link also. If you open the link, it will give you a list of things you have to check for the requirement. It is very important that you go through this. There is a lot of details especially when it comes to feature image. For example, a lot of people might not work on the feature image. Okay, this is features, this is the feature that you will add, this is the images that you will add, these are the feature image, and Shopify will give you a template that you can download. I just downloaded this template. If you open this, it has like a frame that you can open in Photoshop or any other app. I normally use this app called Photopea, which is online. You can use this like a similar to Photoshop for free, but you can use that for free. Again, let's go to App Store configuration, add them, add a proper alt. These are good for SEO purposes that you add them. Make sure you add more than 3. Okay, 3 is minimum, but make sure you add 6 so it display all the features of your app. Also, please read the guideline, because Shopify tell you what you need to add. You have to add a screenshot of the app, how it looks in mobile or desktop. These are the important things that you have to remember. If you don't do that for the first time, then Shopify will definitely reject that and then tell you, hey, please fix these issues. Again, it will come back to your experience as you do that. For the support, you will add the details. Recently, Shopify added, okay, these are the pricing, which is important. One is the pricing that you have locally. One is the pricing that you will add in the Shopify in here. Let me just save these changes before I do anything. I didn't add anything, but yeah, let's save the changes. You will add some public plan, some private plan. Private plan, I think this is a new thing that Shopify added, and you can use this private plan for a specific clients. For example, you have some clients, you want to use this as like discounted price for them. You can do that. You can create a private plan for them, and then they can use it as a discounted price. It doesn't have to display in your dashboard, but these are the private plan that's available. Public is the one that is available directly in the app listing. So if I go to the App Store, for example, if I go to apps.shopify, let's search for our app. It's called PowerX. Does not come here. This is PowerX. We have 25 reviews. Okay, that's great. These are the 4 like pricing options which is available. If you have more than that, you can list them in your own store. Shopify will allow you to put a link where user can click on that, and it will take them to more pricing in here. Like just more pricing will be on your website, and then you can list more pricing option if you do have. But if you don't have, like 4 plan is enough in most of the apps, and that's where you can add them. There is something called managed billing. If you have not heard of this, Shopify will also do a managed billing that give you a link. You can put the link instead of your pricing page. User can select that. That's also an option. I don't have a video for that, but I might create a video. But that is it comes with some pro and cons. A managed billing is like a billing page that you cannot design yourself. Like the design is coming from Shopify, everything is managed by Shopify. It's still the API is coming from Shopify, but you have full control on the pricing page in your Shopify store. I mean the Shopify app that you have here under the pricing. Okay, I might get the error in here is because I just stopped this from working, and also the app might not work if you have not selected your billing plan yet. Okay, cool. Let's go back. What else do we need? Tracking information. For starting, this is optional, but over time it is good that you add your Google Analytics information in here, so you can track data about like how the customer is finding your app and where they are coming from. Contact information, this is important. These are the things that the merchant will reach out to you if you have any question. Email address, put in here. Next step is the testing information. This is important. Provide a username in here. Shopify will ask you to have a username if you have a store. I normally create a random email address for them so they can access my development store and start testing. That's a good thing. You will put a username in here, a password, and also account like description how they can access the app. That's how you do. Screencast, this is also new, not new like in the past 2 years they have added, but for the first app that I submitted, they didn't have a screencast feature. The good thing is that you can link a video for the reviewer to review the app. Let's say a video is like 3 minutes, they watch the video and they can easily understand this. Instead of going through the documentation, reading through all the feature, just make a video. It is very easy for the reviewer to check that and then approve your app. That is the shortest thing that you have to do. Instruction example, this is where you provide how users are going to test this. If I record the video, I don't add the instruction. I add some basic things. Okay, this is my development story, this is my details, this is how you can test that. But if I want to like talk about the features, I don't do that in here. I normally like explain that in the video because that is easy, and it is also easy for the reviewer to watch the video instead of going through this documentation. That is all you need to do. Once everything is filled up for your store, next step is submitting your app. Now that is, unfortunately, a lot of people will stay in this step for a long time. It is not easy. Okay, designing a feature image, filling the description, make sure everything is looking good will take a lot of time. I feel like this is 50% of the work, and if you pass this step, that's it. Okay, a lot of people will not pass this step because they think, oh, I have built the app, now I have to do all of this work. Yeah, that's part of the process. Once you add this, everything else is ready, and then you can just submit it. That's all you need to know about Shopify app review. Again, this is only 5% of the process at the end that is remaining, but it feels like it is 50%. If you complete this, that's done, and then you can go to the next step. I hope this video series has been informative. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next videos. I am going to create more videos, so you can just stay on the channel and then share some of the tips that I have about marketing your app and how you can get more clients in the future. But for now, this is all you need to know about building a basic app with AI. In the age of AI, the best person that you can reach out to is yourself and ask AI how you can improve. You cannot always rely on the videos, so the videos might come late, but you do not wait for that time, and you just start creating your app. You just start do your own research. That's it. Thanks for watching. I will see you in the next video.